It's another Friday.
Yeah.
It's lunchtime.
It's brunch time.
We're having it.
Got my Bloody Mary going.
Yeah, settle this for us once and for all. Jim blew my mind by saying a Bloody Mary is a brunch drink earlier this week. I've always associated it as just an evening time cocktail. Is Bloody Mary tradition? Is it like right up there with the the gold
mimosa.
standard is the mimosa.
Sure.
That's a fucking brunch drink.
Yeah, that's the highfalutin.
That's
Brunch
your
drink.
brunch drink. That's your eggs Benedict and your what's that big steak? The big fatty steak. You know what I'm talking about? They always give you it's like you can't get like it's always like a 48-ounce serving.
Porterhouse?
That's a porterhouse.
That's usually a big steak.
Prime rib.
Prime rib.
Prime rib's a brunch cut of meat too. I understand. It's like a fucking heavy dinner meat.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen a lot of brunches with prime rib. Kind of crazy if you ask me. We are talking about things today.
It's all brunch all the time.
All brunch
this episode.
All right. I like
talk about our favorite. I love brunch, man. There's nothing better than like I don't go in for the eggs Benedict type stuff. I'm not a fancy bruncher. I'm more like let's just take breakfast food and bring it a little bit later on a Sunday.
Yeah, it suits the stay up late, get up early.
Yeah. Like I would be getting up having breakfast at 11 or 12 anyway.
Sure.
So
call it brunch, make it respectable.
Yeah, why not?
And if you
at least one day a week, I can act like a normal human being. I'm having brunch.
And if you can drink while you're doing it, all the better.
Perfect.
All the better. It's socially acceptable to drink.
I do love. I got to say, it's a very relaxing thing. Brunch. Normally, you have like a few friends and you're just having conversation and drinks, and I don't know. There's something more than just like the excuse to drink in the morning. Yeah,
90% of
it's also just very relaxing.
90% of my brunches have always been on a Sunday too.
Yeah, that's the appropriate time.
I always feel like Sunday's kind of a bummer of a day of the week.
Sunday's, the relaxing day, right? Like starting at a Sunday with a brunch to me is perfect because it's meant to just relax you. You're taking life slow on a Sunday. On Monday through Friday, you're working your ass off. On Saturday, you're probably partying, out doing some crazy things. Sunday, you just want to take it easy. So
the problem with Sunday is Sunday always feels like the last day of vacation to me.
Yes.
Not so much nowadays because
every day is a vacation.
Yeah, but
it's pretty amazing.
Back when I was on the work a day week, Sundays were always kind of a bummer. And I'm the type of guy that like on a week's vacation, the last 2 days I have a hard time enjoying because now I realize I'm in the back half and oh God, I'm about ready to go back. So yeah, if you can brunch it up on a Sunday to break up that kind of feeling of dread, go for it.
Yeah. Drink till you forget that you got to go to work the next day.
We got some brunch based commentary already.
All right,
Still no word on the Bloody Mary.
Set it up. What do we got?
Freddie C said, brunch fan checking in. If the possibility exists at a brunch buffet, might I suggest bacon wrapped in smoked salmon?
Wait. You wrap the bacon in salmon?
I think it's the other way around. It's bacon.
Okay.
Oh, well,
that's not what
I don't
he
know
said.
whether he A.Ron'd it and just reversed the polarity of that sentence structure, but
that's interesting to me. I don't know how you wrap bacon in salmon.
You like thinly sliced, like
maybe
really thin strips of salmon going. I mean, either way,
and maybe do a roll, like a bacon roll, and then put the salmon around it.
I could see that. I'm not a big fan of bacon. I know that's heresy.
I love bacon.
I like bacon on BLTs, and that's about it. But yeah, that's smoked salmon is pretty strong brunch game. Like Las Vegas Sunday after a whole weekend of debauchery brunch buffet. That is the king. That's the king of brunch experiences.
Yeah, and there I feel like you almost need the mimosa. Like you need the sugar in the OJ
and the vitamin C.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, replenish your powers. I don't know.
You're drinking a Bloody Mary.
Yeah, homemade. I made the tomato juice. I made the
do you like the spicy Bloody Mary?
I do, yeah.
You got Tabasco in there?
Nope, sriracha.
Oh, even better. Even better.
Yeah, real good.
Okay, we got clarification here by Freddie C. Says, nope, you wrap the bacon in smoked salmon, thinly sliced lox-style salmon.
I'm still curious about the formation of the bacon. Like, do you lay it out? Do you roll the bacon?
It cooked? I'd hope it's cooked.
It's got to be cooked.
Like pork is bad news to eat raw.
I would never eat bacon raw. That sounds horrible.
Were you with me the time we went out to Seattle and we stayed at Jesse's mom's house, or at least for a morning.
No, I was not.
So you missed out on the fresh, wild caught smoked salmon experience.
Yes.
Holy shit!
It sounds amazing.
It was really good. It was really good. Yeah.
Did you go fishing in the Puget Sound?
I didn't, but apparently his mom,
salmon?
like grizzly bear style, just slapped it out of a river in her backyard
Right.
to hear it. She's Australian, so I'm not going to say she didn't do it.
Yeah.
I mean, all flora and fauna of North America is just tame and milquetoast by her standards. All right, here we go. Anthony B. I've always considered a Bloody Mary a brunch drink. How about a Sunday brunch with Jim and A.Ron once in a while? That'd be awesome.
Sounds kind of cool.
Because my brunch game's pretty strong. Like I can bring it with the biscuits and gravy,
pancakes,
and omelets, and
waffles. Waffles are probably my favorite.
Do you know I have a waffle maker now?
Oh shit! When'd you get that?
My faux mother-in-law got it for me this last Christmas, I believe. Because I could do
for some waffles.
That's like what my go-to thing is. If I'm entertaining people, I love to cook like a big breakfast. Yeah. Just like all burners consumed, all ovens going, making fresh biscuits. And
I think that's the meal that everyone appreciates the most when someone else cooks it for them, right?
Why?
Because you don't want to wake up and immediately go to work,
true.
Right?
That's true.
So if someone else is doing the work for you and they present you with a big stack of flapjacks or something, people tend to appreciate that.
See, I like to do it because I'm not a morning person.
Yeah.
And it puts me in the kitchen, like listening to a podcast for an hour, drinking a Red Bull, gets
your day started.
Yeah. And while everybody else is making small talk in like in the dining room or the living room. And then by the time I present all this delicious food, I'm a reasonable person. So it's leveraging my best abilities.
Yeah.
So
I just like brunch because I can drink.
Yeah, that's also a good point.
I drink and I eat waffles.
Why don't we have mimosas more often? Like bubbly, sparkling wine and orange juice are cheap and plentiful. And
you mean outside of brunch, or like us personally? Why don't we drink mimosas?
I don't know why I don't keep a bottle of like Asti Spumante in the fridge and have a mimosa at least once a week. Because I love that drink. Well, I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah, so it's tough when you open something like that. You got to drink it all, right?
Oh, yeah, I have no problem polishing off a bottle of champagne between me and the lady.
Sure, yeah.
Come on now.
But you can't just have a mimosa. That means you're gonna have like 3 mimosas each.
Sure. I'm. You know what? I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is, and I'm going to go and buy a bottle of some kind of sparkling shit and some OJ, and that's what my Sunday is going to be.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I'm drinking the last of my Bloody Mary of my tomato juice, so I'm not going to have anything for brunch this weekend. Maybe I'll get on my
You could go across the street to the store and get some more tomato juice.
Yeah.
There's also, walking over here to the studio, one of your neighbors has thrown a shit ton of tomatoes in the yard.
What?
I know. Like I'm used
to dumped them outside.
I don't know. I can't explain it because they're whole tomatoes and they're like throwing distance from a patio and they're just like a dozen of them in the yard. Like I'm used to trying to dodge dog shit.
Yeah.
But like sun ripened rotted tomatoes is a
maybe they're making sun-dried tomatoes.
Maybe they're tired of me traipsing through the apartment courtyard and they're just intentionally putting obstacles in my path.
And put nails down if that's the case, right?
Well,
nails and glass, and
that might actually get my goat a bit more than they're counting on. Freddie C says you guys just crossed the 10 million download mark, right? Popping a bottle of champagne sounds like a perfect celebration. That's
a good point. We're not quite there. We're like 9.6, but that's a good idea. Bottle of champagne. I think we need to have kind of a party stream.
I'm wondering because I was starting to get depressed and thinking we're another month or so off of a 10 million. Because with Game of Thrones retiring, we're no longer getting that 150,000 plus downloads a week.
Yeah.
But I don't know. True Detective is really heating up.
It's doing pretty well. Yeah.
I was nervous because we were averaging like just 2,500 through the recap.
Because who cares about a year-old show?
I fucking care about it. But then the early returns from like the preview is like already at 10,000, wasn't it? So something like that's starting to become a nice little, Mad Men size hit for us. I'm excited about that. Do we have some topics? We were talking about some stuff before the show that was interesting.
Yeah, we were talking about self-driving cars. Apparently there was like a close call, a quote unquote close call between Google's self-driving car and Delphi's self-driving car.
Okay, tell me about it, because this seems I like the idea of a self-driving car from a rival company engaging in road rage activity with another car, a smart car or automated car.
It sounds pretty cool to me.
Is that
like
what
car gladiators?
Is that what happened? Like they went to occupy the same lane, and was their robotic middle finger extended?
No, like that's the thing.
Did the other car brake check? Like that would be hilarious if the other car brake checked. You know, they got into a pissing match.
Fuck you, Google.
They programmed aggression into it.
That seems like a bad thing to do.
That's how Terminator happens. It's not military at all. It's road rage.
Skynet on the roads. Yeah, no, apparently like they were driving in close proximity to each other, a couple of lanes apart.
Yeah.
Google goes to move into the middle lane or a lane that was between them. The other car goes to move into that same lane, and they both go, oh, there's a car moving into that lane. Delphi stops, Google's continues, boom. It's perfect. Like it works exactly how it was supposed to work. And then all the headlines are like near miss on the highways between Google and Delphi's self-driving cars.
Something that happens thousands of times per day with
that's
flesh
the thing.
And blood drivers.
Like you put Google's car merging and a human merging, and the human's probably just going to ram right into the Google car.
Or your best case scenario is exactly what happens.
Exactly.
Oh, sorry, didn't see you.
And that's the thing about it. It was best case scenario. Everything played out exactly how it was supposed to, and people are making a huge deal about this.
It doesn't surprise me that it's a huge deal because it's like the first automated cyborg cutoff. So I think it's
cyborg on cyborg action.
But here's the thing. What were those two doing on the same stretch of road? Was it planned? Or it just happened?
I think it was just coincidental.
What kind of penetration is Google getting with these things? Because that seems astronomical, the odds that two self-driving smart cars are going to meet and then merge into the same lane.
Yeah, it does. I agree. It wasn't planned according to these companies, but who knows?
How many cars, and this happened in California or Las Vegas? Because I've heard a lot of stuff happen in Nevada where like whatever.
Yeah, I mean, they've been in wrecks before, but it's not the fault of... all the insurance companies have come back and said it was not Google's fault. They've been in like 13 different wrecks, and most of the time, like 9 out of the 13 have been rear-ending, getting rear-ended by people. Okay, which obviously is not their fault. And then the insurance company said, nope, these other ones aren't their fault either. It's all human error.
So I don't know. I know next to nothing about this. How many cars are driving themselves out there right now?
I want to say it's like 23 I think there's a total of 32, 23 of like these modified Lexus cars, which have like radar and lasers and all sorts of stuff, cameras on them. And then there's like 9 of these new prototypes that Google has on the roads. I don't know about the Delphi company. They might have like 5, they might have 500.
My point that like if in a sample size of 23 cars, 13 wrecks in a matter of a few years is absurdly high.
Sure, but all of them caused by the people involved.
Yeah, but do you think...
I don't know how you get around that.
Do you think that there is something, some kind of Freakonomics style underlier that like the way the cars are driving is such that the people don't notice them?
Well, I bet they don't drive like humans. Sure.
That's what I'm saying. So like, yeah, it might be the human's fault for rear-ending them, but I wonder if the car driving like a computer somehow caused, because I'm just saying that's just way higher than you would, I know 23 people. If any of them in my friend circle got like 13 accidents in a 3-year span, that would be like, holy shit, what the fuck is going on here?
No, I agree with you. It seems like a high number, and it might be, caused by
are they also testing active camouflage on these cars at the same time?
They're completely stealthed.
That makes sense.
Yeah, bending light around the cars. It's pretty amazing.
I was having a discussion on self-driving cars in the forums a couple months ago, and someone said something that I thought was crazy, which they think that self-driving cars will be marketed to people within 10 years. What is your gut feeling about, because you seem to be paying more attention to this than me, what's your gut feeling about, because number one, the government hasn't even decided to regulate these things. Like Google just like, you know what, we're gonna make self-driving cars. I assume that there's a person in the driver's seat that has their hands on the wheel at all times and is covering the brake pedal, right?
They're in the passenger seat, but yes.
Are you fucking kidding me? They're not even behind the wheel?
No. I think there's a wheel in the passenger seat. I don't know what the deal was with.
So it's like a driver's ed car.
Yeah, kind of. But yes, as far as I know, in at least those Lexus cars, there is a human in the car at all times.
It has to be.
I don't know about the new prototypes. It's sounding to me more like those are built from the ground up to not have a human component driving them.
But how could that possibly be street legal?
I don't know. I mean, are there laws about not having drones on the street?
So that's a lot of like what the disruptive Silicon Valley people like to do. Oh, there's no law that says we can't. Let's fucking do it. Like Jeff Bezos, let's make autonomous cargo delivery drones in controlled airspace because no one says I can't.
Ask for forgiveness, not permission, right?
Yeah, man. Because
I think it's a good thing personally. I'm all for self-driving cars.
I do too, but I also know how stupid and panicky people are, and I guarantee if they have autonomous cars and one of them gets in a wreck, like if there are no wrecks in 10 years, then maybe. But if there's a single fatality involved with these things, fuck, I don't know, 20, 30 years down the line, maybe. But who knows? I mean, technology moves so fast.
Yeah, people are dumb about this stuff. Like, the number of wrecks that happen on roads right now is ridiculous. There's tons of them all the time, everywhere.
Yeah.
You put robots in the mix, the number doesn't seem to go up to me. It would seem like you make all these things robotic and we're going to have less wrecks. Because just response time. I mean, flat out response time of a robot is way, way better than a human.
So let's talk about this from a social perspective angle.
That's a problem. Social and political issues.
So you got to get to work in 15 minutes. And there's two types of people. There's a type of people to leave with, 25 minutes before they need to be there. So, they can drive the speed limit and not drive. And there's the people that leave 13 minutes before they're supposed to get there. And they're driving like maniacs and they're cutting people off. I wonder if one of the barriers to, because I'm assuming you cannot program these cars to exceed the speed limit.
Probably not.
Or maybe there's a dial like, your risk tolerance. But I think there's going to be some people to like, they're just not going to be willing to leave early, knowing that this damn car is going to get me here 5 minutes late in best case scenario. I need to take manual control and drive like an asshole.
That's why you got to take the manual control away.
Americans will not buy a car that is fully automated and has no manual option.
Not in 10 years.
I wonder, we're still driving manual transmissions. Because some people like the control.
Sure. I'm not so certain that, the benefits of an automatic transmission aren't so great.
Yes.
That they completely just make manuals obsolete. I feel like the benefits of a self-driving car are so good and so many that how can you say no?
I mean, it has a potential to like eliminate 90% of traffic accidents. If every car is
congestion and like,
yes,
I mean, you will probably get there on average way faster.
Sure, I think that's true.
But I understand what you're saying. Like, people don't think that way. People think, oh, fuck that. I want my car that I can drive 90 miles an hour.
Same way people feel safer in a car than to do on an airplane because they're in control of the motions of the vehicle, even though that's statistically absurd.
Sure.
All right.
I think you're right. And politically, it's going to be an issue too, right? Like, what are the ramifications of actually taking control away from people and putting it in the hands of companies that are controlling all this software in the cars, and B, just computers, right? Like, people are, I think, inherently untrusting of computers to a certain degree.
Yeah.
And, part of that is probably due to our fiction, but some of it is for good reason, because we don't, computers are a complex thing that we don't totally understand the absolute intricacies of.
I wonder if they'll be like, because one of the reasons that fully automated planes work, and they essentially are, like, a lot of pilots take off and land because they do it, but planes can take off and land and pilot themselves without any direct pilot input. One of the reasons that works is because it's a tightly controlled airspace. Do you think that if we go 100% automated, we'll have like a ground traffic control, whereas before your car will actually take you somewhere, you have to like put in your destination so that it can go and
slot you into the rotation or whatever?
Yeah.
Probably. I would imagine.
Or maybe route you a different. It's like, this is going to be.
But I think it'll be distributed, right? It won't be like a central hub where you got to call it, radio in and say, I'm going to Kroger.
Yeah.
It'll just be like GPS, take me to Kroger. You might sit there for a second until it goes, okay, slot acquired, boom, I'm off.
Yeah.
It'll be like a mesh sort of thing.
No, I don't.
Each car knows where
that's
they
what I'm saying.
are,
Like
and
the
they're
car
all
won't activate
communicating.
unless you say it's an emergency mode. Like I could also see that. Like
Yeah.
But then again, why wouldn't you just say take me to the hospital?
It's an
there's a lot of practical applications. Let's say you're an old person and you're having chest pains.
there are more reasons.
You can call
than
911 and request an ambulance come pick you up, or you can pile into your automated car, say take me to the nearest hospital, and maybe there's a flashing lights mode, and the other cars get the fuck out of your way because it's got priority and it can drive 100 miles an hour straight to the. That would be, I mean, that could save a lot of lives.
Oh yeah,
I'm excited about the prospect. I just
having
feel
an
like
on-hand ambulance at all times.
Yeah. Everywhere, your neighbors everywhere. That'd be maybe even 911 can 911 dispatch unlocks that ability in your car.
That's what I'm saying, man. So many benefits can come from this that, in my opinion, like, I every once in a while like to drive, just drive around.
Sure,
it's kind of relaxing sometimes, but like I would probably be willing to give that up for all of the extra conveniences that automated driving would have.
Oh, yeah.
Like just the amount of time it would free up for me. Like not me personally. Like I barely fucking drive, but most people, I think, if you're commuting an hour each way.
Yeah. Can I play a video game? Can I read a book?
Yeah. Can
I watch television? Yes. I want to do all those things.
It's gonna get real weird when you're putting on like your VR headset in your car.
Everyone's just jerking off on the way to work with their VR helmets. And nobody can see because they're all wearing a VR helmet. So there you go.
We'll have tinted windows. Why do you need windows in a car like that?
That's true.
There you go.
They'd be safer.
They'd be little mobile prison cells.
Bomb
also
shelters.
Scary. Like, I mean, you've seen like not Judge Dredd. It's the other Arnold Schwarzenegger thing.
6th Day.
No, that's
not
Arnold Schwarzenegger. I mean,
iRobot's got
Stallone,
that in there too. Automated cars.
Yeah, I'm talking about Sylvester Stallone. What was his?
Demolition Man.
Demolition Man had those like lockdown type cars. Fifth Element has it. Like, there's also that implication. You can be locked in your car and held.
Like, I don't want flying cars until we have some kind of controlled ground airspace with automated plot, because that's a fucking disaster.
Yeah.
So if we want flying cars, I think we need self-driving ones first.
Oh, you're right.
All right. Let's get, because there's some good stuff here.
Okay.
Tia Marie Smith, she contends that we will have self-driving cars within 10 years.
I mean,
I don't know.
When you say we, do you mean like me and you, or do you mean like, I don't know, Elon Musk?
Well, I'm not saying
like
Elon Musk already has automated driving cars.
Sergey Brin.
He just cut off Google.
Did he? Does he own Delphi?
I don't. Probably.
Probably.
Tell me he doesn't own a percentage of stock in Delphi.
I'm certain. Well, either that or Google. One of the two. But yeah, that's the thing. Maybe in 10 years they will be marketed to like the people that Tesla was marketed to at the very beginning. But that's probably going to be like a pre-order program, and it's probably going to be contingent on getting some sort of, license or government authorization.
Yeah.
It's not going to just be like you go down to your Ford dealership and pick up a self-driving car in 10 years.
And in self-driving cars, like I just wanted the first state that's going to be like, you still have to do 10 and 2 while you're a self-driving car. Like you have to have the ability to maintain manual control at any time in case of failure. Like that's
how it's going to start.
That kind of shit is going to that's no one thinks of this. People think in terms of technical possibilities, and I like to think in terms of political hysteria.
Yeah,
and that's what's going.
That's
to
more realistic.
Yeah, it's going to be red tape and all that stuff. Yeah. She's got a other bunch of stuff. She also says, I have a 2015 Jeep and it practically drives itself. It keeps me centered in the lane. It shows me people in my blind spot. It will tell me to brake if I get too close. It will actually brake for me if I don't stop soon enough. How does it keep you centered in the lane? Because I think
it uses lasers.
But how does it know where the lane is?
I don't know. Probably the yellow lines. I mean, you get some cameras up in there.
But like I just read 6 months ago that a Google car fucked up a red light because the sun was setting behind it. Like, does that work in all weather and all lighting conditions? Or
I don't know.
That's the other thing. Like, I think that this assisted driving technology is probably going to get you 75% of the benefits of automated technology, like panic braking, lane centering, and all that kind of stuff.
Automatic parking.
Automatic parking, blind spot awareness, that kind of stuff is already making huge differences. And I think that stuff will be standard in 10 years.
I think so.
But fully drive, I don't know. I feel like Americans are just going to be crazy about that. And then finally, on the whole Cyberdyne tip, she asks, speaking of Cyborg, do you plan to see Terminator Genesis next Friday?
Oh, is that when it's coming out?
I'm going to be...
I want to see it.
Out. I think I'm going to be out of town. I'm leaving for a family vacation the week after next.
Yeah, I doubt I'm going to see it right when it comes out, but I do want to see that.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited. And all the trailers, like the old Arnold versus new Arnold fight looks delicious. I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, it's like two self-driving cars going up
against each other. It's Google and Delphi for a modern
battle
age.
For the streets.
Google and Delphi for modern age. Something that just happened yesterday is antiquated. Tia says, yeah, she clarifies it. Yeah, it somehow reads the yellow and white lines and has worked in all conditions.
Okay, cool.
What about snow?
Yeah, if they're covered up.
That's what I'm saying. Like you're in the middle of a snowstorm, you got an inch of snow. It's like just it's hard for me to tell what
self-driving cars do that either.
That's the other thing.
I don't think they could.
Like in really extreme weather conditions. Now, one fair point is that humans don't necessarily handle those extreme conditions perfectly either.
They handle them like shit.
And like the other one, so isn't it true that that these GPS we use right now is actually less precise than it can be because they have a military encryption thing? Like GPS actually is down to centimeter accuracy, but we're plus or minus 3 meter accuracy. If you allowed the cars to have military accuracy, they could potentially drive down a plotted GPS road with like really, really high precision. So they would actually be able to see the lines even if we couldn't.
Yeah.
Like even in total darkness with no lights.
And that's the thing. The dangerous conditions are caused by like sudden braking, people not seeing anything. Automated cars don't have that problem. There's no sudden braking with an automated car. Sure. You know?
Well, I mean,
because everything knows what it's doing before it does it.
Think about light pollution in this country, which is a big concern for astronomers, but even people that like the night sky. Imagine 100 years from now when the roads can be pitch fucking black. Like how much of light pollution is contributed by lights every 50 yards on the highway, those high intensity yellow sodium lights and people's headlights and shit. That just goes away. It's like your car just drives in its total blackness.
Yeah, it would.
That'd be fucking cool. It'd be like it'd be like Arnold in Terminator 2. I see everything. All right.
And they'd all have hood-mounted shotguns.
Now you're blending into your Mad Max and my Terminator.
Oh, okay.
One thing I wanted to talk about because I found this incredible. I was reading Penny Arcade today, and they had a funny thing about a Batman. The Batman just rescued someone beat up, and he's like, I don't really have time to take you in, because that's kind of Batman's thing. In all the Batman, you rescue someone and he just
stops the crime, but
he's just like, all right, you're bleeding on the sidewalk, I've got things to do, see ya. So he's like, I say, how about if I call you an Uber? And the guy's like, I don't know, Batman, I'm really unsure about that company's policies. I'm not sure if I feel comfortable supporting them monetarily. He's like, Lyft in? And the guy's like, God, no, they make you do that fist bump thing. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I looked into it, and apparently that's part of Lyft culture. Is you sit in the front seat with the driver and they greet you with a fist bump. If I got into a car and like that is how I was greeted, I would never get into another Lyft car again.
Get right back out.
No, I wouldn't, because that would be even more awkward than a stranger wanting to fist bump me. But like, I really think I don't like the trend of you walk into a fucking place, welcome to Ass Fuck Anonymous, and you know, I was like, welcome to Chipotle. Yeah, we just had that. And like, you go into convenience stores and they're like, welcome to blah, blah, blah. Can I help you? Like, my ideal of interaction with people is I want you to be available. Like, so if I need to find someone at Home Depot, I can go up and say, but I don't want to be actively assisted or talked to or anything like that. Okay. So
I'm with you. That's why I shop on Amazon mostly.
I was thinking, like, how many people are there? I mean, I guess I'm a recluse, antisocial, etc. Are there actually people that are attracted to that? Like, they walk into the gas station, they're like, hey, welcome to Speedway. can I help you find anything in particular? Is there a person that's like,
gas?
I feel better about this place. I like this place better than, like, I can understand if you get sullen, shitty service, but I'm looking for neutral, professional service.
Yeah, I feel like that's, you know, that harkens back to the days of like the general store. Where you go in like small towns and you know everybody.
But that's the thing. You were legitimately neighbors and friends with those people. It's not.
And now it's still seen as like polite or whatever, but or like inviting. But I'm with you, man. I certainly don't. I would rather like walk into a place, hardly even see anybody.
Yeah. And
go get whatever I know I needed to get, and then walk up to the counter where I probably do self-checkout.
Yeah.
Like I mean, that's just me.
I went to one of those Austin Draft House movie theaters, and their setup is pretty swank. Like
self-dispensing drinks.
No, you write down your order if you need something on a piece of paper that they provide, and there's like this really unobtrusive
piece of paper.
Yeah, because it's a movie theater. Think about it. Like one of the reasons I didn't like Hollywood Bar and Film Works is because you got fucking waitresses walking around and waiters walking around taking people's order, and people like, yeah, I'd like the fucking fish blast tacos and
another 4 beers.
Yeah, and here it's like you write it down, and there's very unobtrusive like lighting that's like personal in your lap, and it doesn't bleed out to theater. And you put that in. There's like a little clip, like you're sitting in stadium seats, and there's tables in front of you, and there's like a little clip in front of you, and you clip it there, and then there's like catwalks.
Okay.
That the waiters come like below your seating level, and like they snatch it, and then things just magically appear in front of you. And that's like that kind of unobtrusive professional service is, I think, what everyone should aspire to.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. I like that kind of stuff.
I hate it when I'm having
like
a really
fist bump your waiter.
I hate it when I'm having a really good conversation and the waiter comes up and's like, "Hey, can I get you anything?"
How's your burger? Well, I've taken a bite.
Yeah.
I mean, come back in 10 minutes when I've had half of it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. That's
I'm with you.
Lyft. Fuck Lyft.
Fuck people in cars, man.
Yeah.
Why do these
taxis should
services
be
have
automated.
to have people in their cars? Fuck it.
I feel bad for the taxi drivers because I didn't think of that.
Everything moves on. Come on. Are we just going to keep it in the 19th century because we want to have people driving cars?
But we also have, I think that part of progress is dealing with the people whose jobs you eliminate. And I think that's one.
But not eliminating those jobs.
I get it.
The people would be put out of work.
But I think one of my criticisms of Silicon Valley is they spend zero effort in thinking about the ramifications. It's all about, and that
it's about the end point, not the transition.
Yeah, period. I mean, when the taxi cab wars of 2030 strike, it's not like Jeff Bezos is going to be on that front line. No. Elon Musk is going to be in that front line. It's going to be you and me and bleeding in the streets.
I wonder if
there'll be death by those taxi medallions.
I wonder if there will be a time when like taxi drivers just start running these cars off the road, these automated cars. Like Uber goes all automated,
or Uber. They see an Uber driver and it's like put them into the harbor.
You never know. You never know.
We got an exciting day today. What our commission podcast is The Matrix.
Yeah. I mean, we had our choice, of The Matrix or Heat, and I feel like
whoa. No, it wasn't. Is The Matrix or Kung Fu Hustle?
No, that was Shaun of the Dead or Kung Fu Hustle. Now we're on The Matrix or Heat. Are you reconsidering? I know there's a forum thread going around about the best shootouts.
Yeah, no, Heat is Heat is really amazing, and I've seen it far less times. But
me too. Yeah, I think I've seen it exactly once.
No, I think we're probably making the right call, but I forgot that it was Matrix or Heat.
Yeah, the Matrix conversation I think is going to be more stimulating.
Sure.
Than Heat.
Like I said, Heat's a really
Heat's a heist movie, right?
It is.
Like just a standard.
It's like the gold standard.
Yeah. I mean, it's a better heist movie than
De Niro and Pacino, Val Kilmer before his face got all puffy and weird,
and his body before he got dad bod.
Before he got dad, and it's he's moved on from dad bod. It's more I don't know, like fat bastard lost weight bod.
Oof.
Anyway,
I saw him in Life's Too Short recently. That
last thing I saw him in was a MacGruber, and he was very funny, but not very Val Kilmer-y.
Yeah, I mean he looks, he still looks like puffy Val Kilmer, but he put on some weight and stuff, and he's getting old, man. That's what happens when you get old. But yeah, he was on. It's Warwick Davis's show, and it's Ricky Gervais production or something like that.
Yeah.
And like Val Kilmer comes in as Val Kilmer. He's playing Val Kilmer, and he comes in and says, "Oh yeah, Warwick, I got this project I'm working on. I just need $5,000 investment from you. I've got a whole bunch of other investors." And turns out he's just in restaurants eating really fancy fucking dinners with this money. And Warwick calls him on. And he's like, "Yeah, I had never had any intention of doing this project." He's just out scamming people. Val Kilmer.
That's hilarious.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah. Oh, I know one topic. Should I talk about it now, or should I save for next week? It is my experience at the drive-in movie theater in 2015 in the heartland of America.
Let's go for it.
Okay.
I want to hear about it.
So this winter, one of the things I find charming about the Midwest is we still have drive-in movie theaters, like especially Indiana, because one of the weird quirks about us adopting daylight savings time so late is that the essential charm of the double feature cinema, you could get it started or like a little bit after 8, and you could get everything and get most movies over by midnight, and like the drive-in industry was thriving in Indiana. And it still is. Like there's one like in
thriving,
right? And there is a 3-screen drive-in theater in Indianapolis with like the old-timey speakers you clip to the ceiling and everything. Like it's kind of amazing that that's still thriving.
But there's one, like
no, there's like I can think of 5 within driving distance of my old home.
Jesus, okay, I didn't realize that. There was one that we always
there's
went
2 around us here in Cincinnati, and that's what I want to talk about. So
no desire to go to those.
In the winter, it's been about 5-6 years since I've been to one, but in the winter time, the one closest to us, their screen blew down in a winter storm. And they were going to, I think I might have talked about this in a lunch with Jim and A.Ron, but they were going to close up shop, because it's going to be so expensive to do the repairs necessary, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Well, the community banded together, and I guess they
got a Kickstarter going.
It might have been Kickstarter or GoFundMe or something, or the bank stepped forward or whatever, and they got funding. They built a new screen. So me and Cecily are like, hey, we should go see a movie this year. And they had a doubleheader last weekend of Jurassic World and Pitch Perfect 2. And like, all right, cool. Jurassic World seems like the quintessential drive-in movie theater experience. And then Pitch Perfect 2, I like Pitch Perfect 1, and we can be drunk as hell by the time that gets on there, and we'll be fine. So we go, and the first thing, like we got there like 45 minutes early, and there's a line of cars like a half mile before you get in the interstate. Which, this is on a 4 fucking lane highway.
They got to check your car for contraband.
No, they actually they got a better system for that. But I felt unsafe because people are whizzing by me at 70 miles an hour where I'm standing still in this calm traffic. We eventually work our way in there, and they have this thing where, so it's like $7 per adult. And they don't do the by the carload, which all the other drive-ins I've ever been through is by the carload. And then they also have a $5 outside food ticket that they will sell you if you bring in outside food, coolers or whatever. And then they also give you a trash bag to put your trash in. What's interesting is manning these booths are the very old, sweet, motherly looking ladies. And they're like all smiles. And then like their face like turns into a hard mask, and they look at you and like, now, have you brought any outside food, coolers, candy?
How many people are in your
bags
trunk?
Of popcorn? Yeah, no, they look at you and like you're free to lie, but I cracked within like 3 seconds of that.
It's like crossing a border.
Yeah, only with grandmas like that are going to rap you on the knuckles with sticks if you lie to them.
Gotcha. It's more guilt-based than. And
here's the thing, I ended up buying their food, and I planned on buying their food because the other cool thing about drive-in is they usually get like really cool food selections, like full-on pizzas and pretzels and all kinds of different food.
Yeah.
And they did not disappoint. Like, they had this pretty sweet nacho setup that I hooked myself up with.
Meat? Do they have meat for the nachos? Because that's my classification of good.
Yeah.
Nachos.
No, they had beef.
Like
they
for
had
me,
shredded
if
chicken.
you're just gonna pour cheese over some tortilla chips, that ain't nachos.
Okay, no, it had jalapenos and beans and meat and sour cream and
okay, all right. So
it was legit.
That helps me calibrate.
And they had conies, and they had Bavarian nuts, and they had pizzas, like not chain pizzas, but like homemade pizzas they made there.
Damn.
So we get there, and like we arrive like just as the movie started because they did the previews and all this stuff, and we parked way in the back, To the extent that the screen, I did this as a joke. I held it out at arm's length, my cell phone screen, and my cell phone was slightly larger than the screen. And this is one of those things where you could listen to the movie audio on your car radio, which I also enjoy.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's
way better for cold weather.
As nostalgic as the old speakers are, this is better way. So we get all set up and we're about to enjoy the movie, and we're about 5 minutes in, maybe 15 minutes into it, and the sound cuts out. Just stops. And like people start honking their horns and flashing their lights. Green laser pointers come out and start dancing on the screen.
That's the thing. Like everybody has a built-in vuvuzela, right? Like just fucking. If they're dissatisfied, you will know it.
Just wait. This is a Black Hawk Down situation.
Oh my God.
So they get on and they announce over not the loudspeaker, the radio system, that sorry, we had a technical issue. We will restart the movie. Because it played for like 3 minutes with no sound.
Oh yeah.
And you're like, we will restart the movie. So everybody's like, okay, fine, whatever. The movie restarts, but not at the movie. The movie restarted like at the 20-minute trailer package.
Oh boy. Yeah.
With all the shitty welcome for being a valued customer to the drive-in and your community theater and all this stuff, and like people are hooting and hollering. And the laser pointers are still going, and then the school mom gets on and she's like, all laser pointers must be put away at this time.
Who the fuck? Okay, if this was 2001, I get the laser pointers. Like super popular, everybody thinks it's hilarious to shine them at screens. Who in 2015 is carrying around laser pointers in that quantity?
They're at least green.
Okay.
And there was 3 of them.
So they're the ones that can burn right through the screen.
Yes,
if you hold them there long enough.
Yeah, you can destroy mosquitoes.
Jesus, laser pointers. Okay.
So then we get into about 3 minutes into the movie, and the movie loses all focus.
Wait, the plot?
No, the actual movie goes like, and not just like a little off, like it's just a blur of light, like moving lights and stuff. Like it's insane. And this plays for like 5 minutes with the sound. And then the screen turns off for like a minute. And like people are losing their fucking minds. They are honking their horns. They're flashing their lights. The laser pointers have come back with a vengeance at this point. And this time, like, and the people are angry, and like you can hear swearing, and like there's this like real dangerous vibe at the drive-in. So they get on and like, hey, we're having some issues. We think we have them resolved. So they put the movie back on. And this time it started with the 20-minute package, and someone wisely skipped. I don't know how they do it technically, but they skipped all through that.
Yeah. And
because people were fucking about to go. Like you could hear like an angry murmur go up from the drive-in when the welcome to our drive-in theater. So and me, it says, and I actually got video of this. I'm trying to decide whether I want to edit it up to be like a CNN style debacle at the drive-in type of deal. So we get in, and this time, 1 minute into the movie just all of a sudden collapses into about 25% of the projected area.
Awesome.
And then then they blow it up and it gets blurry again. And like every 30 seconds, a new aspect ratio happens. And so eventually they get it, and they're not getting on the overhead. This is just happening for like 15 or 20 minutes. They finally get it to where it's full expansion, but it's only like a third of the size. So you got everyone looks like they're short, fat, squat, dwarf people. And they come on the overhead and they're like, this is like 11 o'clock at night now, because this shit didn't start till like 9:15. And they're like, it's like, we've got apparently their projector is remote controlled by a central projection company.
Of course.
And
why wouldn't it be? That seems the way to go.
And I think that there's a lot of modern theaters done this way. And I guess there's this belt driven lens thing where you get the digital film and it tells you what aspect ratio is, and then it on some kind of mechanical track slides the correct project thing into place. And
it's just going fucking crazy.
It was like jammed, and like I guess every time it would switch aspect ratios, it was some dude from California trying to get the thing to go into. But the real disaster was this was going on for 15, 20 minutes, and nobody was saying anything over the intercom. And I'm like, why? Why the fuck? And then at one point, some dude, you can actually see this happen because they're standing in front of a projector booth. some dude climbed up on the roof of the thing and had a big a bucket full of like the butter shit that they got from the concession stand, and you could see the silhouette like come up with the bucket and splat, and then all of a sudden it's went like yellow and blurry. Someone shot like this melted yellow butter all over the window.
How did they get a bucket of butter from the concession stand?
So here's what I think happened. They bought a large bucket of butter. They dumped out the popcorn, or hell, they ate it in the 2 hours we're waiting for this shit. And then they went back into the concrete bunker and they just filled it full of butter, that sheet butter. And then you got to see a shadow person like cleaning it off with Windex, and it's this.
Oh
and I can't. There's people like angry mobs going through like with flashlights and shit, and they started announcing that you can get they will give you a rain check. They'll not give you a refund. That really pissed off the crowd.
Yeah.
And then I don't know why, but we got into the line to get a refund and get out of there. It took an hour, dude. Like,
that was a lot of people.
I counted. It took them like a minute and like over a minute to get us our refund. Like, someone came out and said, "Do you want just 2 adults?" They went in and they wrote this thing and wrote this thing and wrote this thing, and then he came back with this little.
Their cash registers are controlled from California.
Well, that's the thing. They're not even cash. It's just a handwritten voucher. And I'm like, man, can't you get like these 2 sweet old ladies are doing this by themselves? Like, you'd think you'd get somebody to like write the vouchers as fast as you can and just get people out there. But it was the worst experience of all time. I didn't get home till after midnight seeing 0 movie. And again, my best case scenario is I'm watching Jurassic Park from my cell phone held at arm's length.
What's the point? What's the fucking point, man?
I was really disillusioned, man. Like, I was so looking forward.
There's a reason drive-ins are not very plentiful anymore.
Yeah, I feel like,
technical issues aside,
I feel like it's there for teenagers to make out.
Absolutely.
Still, and they
but that's, you got the back
weed.
of the theater for that too. So smoking weed, yeah, you can't really do that in a theater.
I'm not down back at a theater fucking.
No, but it happens. It happens all the time.
Oh, dude, when at Dallas Buyers Club, there's 8 people in that theater.
That seems like an inappropriate movie to be making
like
out.
a 45-year-old range couple loudly making love in the back.
45-year-old couple in the movie theater. Get a room
in Dallas Buyers Club.
Say that to a 17-year-old couple.
Matthew McConaughey is dying of AIDS.
I know,
and they're fucking in the back row.
Okay, all right. There's a time and a place, and this is not it.
No, it is not. So there's my movie
Holy
theater experience.
Shit. All right. Yeah, that sounds like the worst possible outcome.
All right.
For everyone involved. The theater, for you, potentially our audience. I don't know. I thought it was an entertaining story.
Okay, so some quick notes, and then we got to get out of here. Got to get onto the Matrix / the Heat. Anthony B says, when do you guys want Mad Men season 1 feedback in by? We're probably going to be recording the next week or 2. So soon. By this weekend, if you want to be safe, I'd say. And then Tia Marie Smith says, you have to make a video of this adventure. It's too funny. I'll try. I'll see. Because I'm not sure my cell phone, I know it picked up the laser pointer and like my running commentary, but I'm not sure it picked out like all the angry mutterings and the car engine racing and the honking and the screams from people. It was
right. Check it out.
It was interesting. So yeah, we'll see if that comes out in Bald Move the next week or 2. Thanks for joining us and having another lunch with us. We will be back next week. We got a whole bunch of shit coming out. We still got the Game of Thrones playthrough that we're doing.
Tuesday nights, 7:30.
We got True Detective we're covering. I got 2 Orange is the New Blacks a week. We'll probably have another commission cast out next week too.
Want to get Silent Movies in there somewhere?
I think, yeah, because I should be able to get the. I'm almost done with Jupiter Ascending. I should have time to finish that today. So
looking forward to being totally perplexed by that movie.
Yeah, well, you know, I got a couple other easier ones. Well, I don't even know they'll be easy, but I got a couple other suggestions that I got like 5. I got a short list of 5 for my next ones, and you're already done with your next one, right?
It depends on whether or not I want to go there. Yeah, like
because
I've got an edit of another movie done, but it's 12 minutes long and it's not very worthwhile.
It seems like busting it up and writing a script for the movie takes at least as long as the edit process.
It takes a couple hours,
coming up with questions and getting the character things all ready and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I haven't even started on that stuff, so we'll see. But yeah, like to get one of those banged up. Let's see. Wes Stevens says, now that you've rewatched season 1 of True Detective, can you explain the opening shot of episode 1 when someone is carrying someone off screen with the fire in the background?
Carrying
what? Are you talking about the intro where they're setting the field on fire? Because I can't even think of what scene you're talking about.
Nope, I'm confused.
The only thing I can think of is, like, again, the guy setting the field on fire. But
in
that was
intro.
Wait, is he talking about in the intro?
No, he's not talking about it in the intro, as far as I can tell.
The opening shot of E3 is when, I think we're supposed to understand that is Earl Childress and or his acolytes setting the field on fire to draw attention to the woman's body that they're staging there. That's kind of weird that they're carrying a body and then setting the fire and then carrying the body. I think you get it all staged up, set the fire, and then peace out.
Yeah.
No, I think that's exactly what it's supposed to be. And because they later said, how did you find this body? Well, there was an unscheduled burn. Because that's something I actually did that a couple times as a kid.
Burn down a field?
Yeah. Controlled burn of a field in lieu of mowing it to get like all the dead grass and shit out of there. So yeah, they set a field on fire that wasn't supposed to be set on fire, and that's how they found the body.
All right.
So there, boom. Mystery solved. We'll be back next week. Thanks for joining us on this lunch. Have a great weekend, people.
See you guys.